You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name, Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Those against R. Kelly have for the past 2 decades boasted about the so-called tape evidence, even though the source and authenticity of the tapes has remained a mystery, with no clear source mentioned considering everyone is denying the role. Even though tape 4, from among the versions declared by the feds has remained missing, tape 1, 2 and 3 are actually available, and are reported to have been played out for the jury to watch already. What we are learning however is that these tapes 1, 2 and 3 are not in their original state, and that the feds have duly admitted to have doctored them, cut out what they determined highlights of each, and used the selected pieces to compile them. That's quite some editing work, isn't it? It's however not clear how the feds turned pornography video editors managed to determine and select out the clips they felt were going to be valuable to the case, leaving out what they found not so important. What if the parts they left out were what would have been essential to identify the people on the tape? And what if there was something they were trying to hide by leaving out some parts in order to implicate the R&B King? We can't rule out this, especially since it's only now that we are learning people like Andrea Kelly, who spoke a lot against Kelly, actually did feature a lot on the tapes. It's also difficult to tell the actual purpose why the feds were eager to edit the videos, and to make a compilation of specific clips, considering these edited tapes have been reported leaked to the public at certain points. Video evidence is no longer evidence if it has been tampered with in any way. Because for as long as a clip has been subjected to video manipulation software, and transferred from one VHS to another, one cannot be sure how much of the film has been tampered with. The video evidence on tapes 1, 2 and 3 therefore should be discarded as inappropriate for use during the R. Kelly trial. And if there is anyone who should be charged for tampering with evidence, it should be the very people that produced their own edition of the recordings, consequently misleading the court. I am confident if these feds-turned-film producers were asked which clips they cut out and for what reason, they probably cannot recall even one bit. It's been 20 years, they will say, and yet they choose not to respect the statute of limitations that bars them from charging R. Kelly after all these years. In fact, we are still wondering what technology they could be using to play the tapes today, considering VHS is now completely old-fashioned and outdated. If the content has been moved from one VHS to another, and then off VHS to another device, there is no way to guarantee the video quality was maintained. The video evidence is therefore not concrete evidence we can trust. Returning to the cross-examination of Jane, the lead prosecution witness, who is also said to have appeared on the tape. When asked whether she intended to ask for restitutions, or call it compensations from R. Kelly if he is convicted, she left the opportunity open by saying she hadn't yet decided whether to ask for compensation or not. For a woman who was texting R. Kelly love notes just recently in 2019 and assuring him she cared when she said, "Don't let the devil win," one would have expected her to say she wasn't going to seek compensation, considering she knows what his financial situation currently looks like. Instead, the woman who says is in love with R. Kelly said, she will think about it. But all this makes you wonder, why is the government so determined to fail R. Kelly? Can't they see he has suffered enough already? For 20 years, all these fake friends of his, now treated like saints, chose to use whatever they had against him as free meal cards, slowly draining Kelly's bank account. When he became bankrupt and could no longer afford people leeching on him, now they pretend to prefer justice to finances, just because this too attracts money in form of restitution. According to Ann Thomas, it looks like these people are not focused on serving justice, but rather making R. Kelly look guilty. This is likely the reason the judge is ruling to make attorney Jennifer Bonjean quiet on social media, since she is exploring everything to expose those lying on the stand. She is a smart attorney and this beats their understanding. However, just like the prosecution witness put it in a note to Kelly, the devil will not win. R. Kelly will eventually be vindicated. According to Jennifer, I pray they let R. Kelly go. Those witnesses have zero credibility, now including his wife. They could have easily left and stayed away from him. How could they take his money and then turn against him? I bet that Andrea put them up to it. She turned his children against him, yet was involved even more than him in everything. R. Kelly was wrong for going outside his marriage, but it was the prosecutors who distributed those tapes, not him. I am getting happy for R. Kelly. According to Monica, I have never quite understood what truths the government expected to pick out from the VHS tapes they allege were recorded by R. Kelly. Videos with timestamps to determine when the images were captured can prove meaningful for such a case where age is an important factor. Otherwise, I don't see much these tapes can determine with regard to the current Chicago trial. Tapes have time and again been used to scare legal opponents in court to trigger confessions. But if someone remains hard to crack, video evidence, unreliable as it is regarded not viable material in court. A prosecution which is only banking on videos as evidence therefore has a long way to go convincing the jury, unless the jury itself is incompetent, as often happens. Learning that the video, incompetent for evidence as it is, was even further doctored to eliminate certain parts and maintain a few, something only movie producers would do, makes the prosecution bargain even harder. There is no way such evidence already tampered with should be received and considered dependable evidence against R. Kelly. According to Nancine Alexander, you know that there's people who don't want to see R. Kelly become free, so they are just hating on him, and who can remember what they did 30 years ago? Not many. We are still standing in your corner, Kells. We pray for you. Just remember that God will fight your battles and make your enemies your footstool. Hang in there, God's got your back. Much love. According to Stacy, the case is becoming a little too heavy for them to judge. They fear for the worst cause the lies they are trying to prove to be a case against R. Kelly have got no solid proof. They are trying to connect negative to positive, but still, the two do not share a stage. What I'm trying to say is righteousness and evil are two different roads to take, and thank God R. Kelly chose right. That is why they are stuck with his case, knowing nothing of what to do in order to take him down. We know well that another wrongful conviction is a possibility, but we trust the appeal court to overturn all these mistakes, and turn them into something positive for R. Kelly. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.